to another episode of Movie Review. Today I am reviewing a Goofy movie. I love this movie. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. Now, that goes with it is an extremely goofy movie, which I will put in the link below so you can watch the second part of the movie. Well, this is the first video, and then the second one is an extremely goofy movie, but the link will be in the description below so you can check it out. So, the story goes that Max is finally finishing school. It's the last day of summer, well, the last day of school, and he's hitting summer and he is able to do whatever he wants. So he decides with his friend PJ to create a music video or a video, well, for the school so that he can show himself off to this girl that he really likes, named Roxanne. And so PJ calls him in the morning and says, "Dude, you're late for school." And he's like, "No, I'm not." He hits his clock. Max hits his clock, and there he's off to the races because he is late for school. He's got a few minutes to get there. And so he finally gets to school, and he's there with PJ, and PJ's freaking out because he's using his dad's video camera and he really doesn't want to because his father loves the video camera more than his son. And so they got a guy named Bobby who is part of, I guess, the AV club, you would say, the audio-visual, because he does stuff with TVs and everything else. And he's like, "Hey, here's your TV." And he's like, "Oh, great." So Max is like, "Oh, great." And the factor is that Bobby wants payment. So Max gives him cheddar cheese whiz in a spray can that you can spray in your mouth. And he's so happy and all that. And so they set up the video camera and everything else so that Max can become a rock star who is the main singer of Powerline. Okay, that's his name, Powerline. And so he does his show, and he's impressing Roxanne, and she's impressed, and finally they get caught by the Principal Mazur, who is a Debbie Downer, who hates fun, who wants people to learn to have like science slumber parties and school parties and all this stuff so that they never stop learning over the summer, even though kids want to sit and do nothing for the summer. And so Principal Mazur calls everyone's father. PJ looks like he's just been raked over the coals by his father. Goofy is talking to Principal Mazur, and Principal Mazur is telling Goofy that Max is going to end up in an electric chair because he's a scoundrel. He's doing things that he's not supposed to, when really it's not really anything horribly bad. And so you got Max sitting there and waiting, and Roxanne comes up to him and says, "Hey, would you like to go to the Powerline showing at the friend's house?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, sure," and all this. He's like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." And so he finally gets to school. He finally gets home, and there, his son Goofy is ready to take Max on a fishing trip, literally, and Max doesn't want to go. He completely hates going on this trip to Lake Destiny where Goofy and his father went, and using the same map and everything. So he finally gets shoved into a car, and they're on their way. And they go, and they're trying to figure out to play a game. They're listening to music and all this, and they can't figure out what music to play. So the tape goes crazy, and everything pops out of it because it is destroyed. So now they have no music. And as it goes, they're traveling along the way, and they get to this, I guess, weasel place or chipmunk place where Goofy is so happy to be there, but Max finds it so ridiculously kiddish and stupid, and really just like not for him. And and he finds that Goofy is embarrassing him. And so he really hates it. He hates it that he's embarrassed. So they finally get to their campsite, their first campsite, and lo and behold, who shows up but PJ and his father with a mobile home. Literally, it's like you got a bowling alley, a pool, a hot tub, whatever. You got everything there. And you got your big flat screen TV. You got like everything. It's crazy. And so they're there, they're talking and everything. and everything. And so as it goes, they finally go fishing. So Goofy goes fishing with his son, and he's trying to do the perfect cast, trying to teach Max the perfect cast that's been handed down from goof to goof to goof to goof. And so as that goes on, Goofy snags someone's steak from the barbecue, and it finally goes. The pole goes flying. The reel goes flying, and they're doing fly fishing, of course. So the reel is flying and finally lands somewhere, and you find Bigfoot. Like, dang, Bigfoot. And Bigfoot is like, ooh, the smell of the steak. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And so he's going after it as Goofy's reeling it in, finally gets the steak, and Bigfoot ends up in their camp. And PJ and the father leaves, bolts off, they go, they're gone. And Goofy and Max are stuck in their car while Bigfoot is sleeping on top of the car, sucking his thumb. How weird. But as it goes, they have a can of soup at least to eat, so they eat that. But he more or less gives, Goofy gives the food to Max. And he heats it up with one of those lighters in the car. I mean, I don't know if you guys have them anymore, but in my day we had the lighter. You push the lighter and you can light your cigarette with it, or you could light your finger on fire, like burn your finger. I mean, there are possibilities, but don't burn your finger. Do not do that if you have that in your car. Please do not. That is not safe at all. It hurts. And so Goofy heats up the food for Maxie, and Maxie eats it and leaves some message at the bottom, because he really does care about his father. He really does. And so on the way, as they get on their way, Goofy's like, you know what, I'm going to give you the map. So Maxie takes care of the map and does things, and they go to different places that Maxie likes to do. But then he's like, you know what, really, I should do some things for my father and all this. And so they do. They go to this big yarn place. And finally they get to the crossroad where it's either Lake Destiny or LA. And Max has a choice to make, and he decides to go to LA. And that is where Goofy is totally pissed as can be. I mean, mad with him, because I thought they were going to Lake Destiny and instead they were going to LA. And so they finally stop at the top of a cliff, and the car starts rolling down the hill. And Maxie's like, Dad, the car, like, you know, we have to get the car. He's like, well, you didn't do this. If we didn't go off the wrong turn, we wouldn't have this problem and all this. But if you didn't put the parking brake on, we wouldn't have this problem either, yada, yada, yada. And they're just fighting. And finally, they end up in the water with their car. They finally get in the car, and they end up in the water. And so they're there, they're talking, and they're singing a song, and finally they're like, you know what, let's get to LA. You know, if this is important to you, let's get to LA. Because Maxie finally tells his father what was going on. And so they're going, and as they're going, they are coming to a waterfall. And the waterfall is humongous. I mean, humongous. Like, it's like Niagara Falls, but like huge. And so they're going down, and Maxie finally gets onto the reel, the fly fishing reel, and he saves his father by doing the perfect cast. Like, doing the perfect cast is just one of those things that are perfect. And he hangs on to his father and all that, and it's just amazing. And so they float down, and they get to LA, and they're trying to figure out how to get into the concert. So they hide into instrument cases. So Goofy is a guitar, and Maxie is a little drum, because he can fit in it. And they finally get there, and Goofy ends up finding a lady in the changing room, and he's like all surprised and happy kind of thing. And she's like screaming her head off, and he ends up into this machine where it takes him onto stage. And Max is in trouble by a security guard, so they end up on the stage too, but with the lighting and everything. And finally, Goofy ends up on the stage, literally on the stage, and they're wondering what the heck's, and the power line's wondering what the heck is going on. And Max is like, Dad, do the perfect cast, do the perfect cast. So he does the perfect cast, and they all join in. Max joins in, power line joins in, doing the perfect cast, and it's all happy. And Roxanne is so happy to find out that Max was actually there, because in actually the beginning, he has to tell her that he won't be able to make the show the TV special because he's actually going to the concert in LA to see Powerline because his father and Powerline are old buddies, which they really aren't any friends at all. He doesn't really know Powerline at all. He doesn't know anybody really. And so she sees him on the TV and she's happy as can be. Like, I mean, like amazed. Like, you see there he is. There is Max as he said he was going to be on the show. And so he was. And the end result is that, you know, he has to apologize to Roxanne and say, you know, my father really didn't know Powerline. I lied to you and this and that. And she kisses him, of course. And he laughs like Goofy does in his voice. And I mean, I'm horrible with voices, but it's like, like something like that, you know. And that's where you find out that Goofy introduces himself because his car explodes and all you see is his shoes and socks left on the floor and he's flying through the air and poof, hits the front porch roof, and he's like, hi, I'm Goofy. Well, and Max is like, this is my father, Goofy, and all this, and he's like, enchanté, and all this, like, happy to meet her, and all this stuff. And that's the movie. I mean, it's great. It's well done. It's great for Disney movies. I grew up with it. I love it. It's amazing. You will not be disappointed with it. So please, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please blow this channel up with subscribers to help me out. I'm doing the best I can with what I got, and I know you can really help me out a lot with my movie reviews by just hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to my channel. And don't forget, I upload every day except for Sundays. That's the only day I do not upload. So remember that, every day except for Sundays.